And we're up. Cool. All right. Audio on. Hopefully that doesn't quiet again. First of all, what's going on, YouTube universe? This is your boy Eric from AFNB Pictures, and welcome to episode 7 of Let's Talk. For those who are wondering what I was rambling about, for those who watched my last stream, my audio went out halfway through. Now I'm gonna get into that just a little bit more as we go on through the stream. I'm gonna explain to you why that was a little bit weird. There's been some weird things happening that we're definitely gonna be getting into. But first of all, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, please don't be a stranger. Hit the like and subscribe. Show your brother some love. If you're returning, yeah, welcome back. Turn this down a little bit. As I said in my last post, I want to get into some topics. I want to talk about a few things. First thing I want to talk about, and I kind of talked about it in a few streams ago. I talked about it a little bit about it. I didn't tap that much into it, and it's comments. Comments on social media. Really trying not to get pushed to deactivating my Facebook account, my Instagram account. And I don't know, I guess I kind of bring it on myself, you know, with looking at a lot of posts, because there's a lot of things that pop up on my feed, a lot of news issues. For those that don't know, O.J. Simpson passed away. Didn't even know this man was battling cancer. Wow, that was news. Of course, we all have our mixed thoughts on O.J. There are a lot of people out there that don't know how to separate the proverbial artist from the proverbial man. I get it. Yes. Those who grew up in my era, I was 80s and 90s baby. I was born in 1985. I grew up during the later years of OJ, and by later years I mean the obviously the Naked Gun series, which is probably what at the time he was known best for outside of his professional football career. Now, of course, we all know what he's known best for. Did I do it? If I did it, OJ did it, this, and that. We all know what he's known best for. He is known for the infamous White Bronco, the OJ trial, Nicole Brown. We get it, yeah. Whether people think that he did it or not, I mean, I'm one of the ones that are on the teetering end. Do I believe that he was responsible? Yes. Do I believe he did this solely him? Was it solely him that did it? No. I don't believe that a former football player who's clearly suffering from CTE, even at the time, like CTE was nothing new. This all happened way after he had left. So CTE was definitely, it had a major effect on this man's life. So do I believe that he did it? Yes and no. Is he responsible? Yeah, definitely. All that evidence was there. I don't care how good of a lawyer Cochran was, bruh. All that evidence was there. Ray Charles can tell you that yes, he did. Did he do it by himself? No, he did not. Ain't no way a man suffering from that much CTE is smart enough to do all that by himself. Did he have help? Yeah. Do we know who helped? Who knows? We will never know. The only people that will know is Ron Goldman, Nicole Brown, and O.J. Simpson, who all three of them are not with us anymore. Now, I haven't said that. It has been a little over 48 hours since this man passed away. I knew it was coming. I didn't think it was going to be this bad. Comments are just going through the roof, from jokes and I get it with memes. The memes can be kind of funny because, and I know I'm probably burn to hell for saying this, but even like the Kobe Bryant meme, Kobe Bryant memes were off the charts. And this was literally just days after that man had passed away. First of all, RIP to Kobe Bryant. Shout out to the man's family. But you know how the internet is. You got Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, you know how they are. They don't let up. They will not give that shit. Okay, we still on. They won't even give it a few hours. And those memes are just popping in, folks. And with OJ, I don't know why the comments upset me so much. Actually, I think I do know why. Regardless, and maybe this is how I was raised, regardless as to what somebody did to somebody else, I'm not going to be the type to wish suffering and wish death or harm on somebody. I've never been that person. I don't care what somebody does to me. Personally, I don't care. I'm always going to try to be the bigger person. I'm not going to say, just because somebody cuts me off on the road, you know what, man, I hope you get into an accident. I hope something bad happens to you. I hope you suffer in the afterlife. I can't, in good faith and conscience, be that person. I never have been, and I just never will be. I can't. I mean, we crack jokes. I've cracked some horrible jokes towards friends, but they know that, hey, this is a joke. If I look at my best friend and say, hey, man, I hope you trip and knock your 2 front teeth out. That's a joke. And we laugh about it. We're not serious about the shit. Social media comments, man, some of y'all, whew. Mike Tyson had one of the best sayings. Like, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. And I really do believe that a lot of people that are so quick to flock into these comment sections and say what they want to say, they do it with impunity. And with impunity, I mean this. When you are behind the cell phone screen and you tweeting, you safe. You are either in the comfort of your own home, you in your car, you in a place where the people you talking stuff about, they can't hurt you. They can't do nothing to you. I get it. So naturally, when somebody feels safe, they feel confident because now they're in their comfort zone. They're comfortable. They in their house. Can't nobody hurt them in their house, right? Right, of course. Can't nobody do nothing to you. So, of course, you're going to feel a little confident, maybe a little arrogant. And that's when you start, your chest getting all big, your balls feel heavy, and you start wanting to say whatever you want to say. Some of these comments, and not just with the OJ thing, it's with so many other posts. I mean, in regards to entertainment and wrestling, or just somebody posting something about their life that they're happy about. I saw a post of a girl, and it wasn't anything sexualizing or anything. It was just a chick posting about something that she made, like a dish that she made. And she showed off, she was happy about it. Now, scrolling through comments, and I see one comment say, whatever you made, you need to take that back. That looks like shit. That looks horrible. I would never eat that. Now, obviously, the person that commented on this, if you read the replies, they got flamed. They got cooked instantly from, hey, man, you need to chill out. You need to shut the fuck up and all that, which, yes, you do. Bruh, I get it. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but I really do feel that there are way too many opinionated people out there in the world. And it's real easy to be opinionated when you've never been confronted on your opinions. And I feel a lot of people that comment on these posts, they haven't been confronted face to face about their opinions. I don't mean somebody making a video about, hey, you shouldn't have said that. I'm talking about somebody that's in your face. I've been confronted about stuff that I've said, that I've popped off at the mouth about, and people have gotten in my face about it. I have been there. I know. I've mumbled shit that I thought that the person that I'm talking about, I didn't think they heard me. They came right back around and they were right in my face like, yo, what'd you say? You got something to say? What? Say it. Nah, don't get quiet now. I've been called out like that before. So I know, you know, and this ain't about being a punk or anything. It's about picking your battles. Pick your battles. And just because you in a comment section, that does not mean you're safe from a confrontation. What if somebody looks you up? What if they find you? What happens? Which the internet is a very easy place. It's a very easy place for people to find information on other people. And it's scary, but it's true. Now, I ain't coming on here to talk mess about people that, that are opinionated, that they want to post their comments, they want to do their little tweets or whatever. I'm not going to sit here and wish nothing bad. But I will say this. Just be mindful. Be safe and be mindful and be careful of the things that you say. Because the wrong person might hear that. Or you might comment on the wrong person's post. And that person might confront you about that. Like real talk. They're gonna make it a goal to look for you and find you. Because you ran off at the mouth. Well, technically not ran off at the mouth, but you ran off at the fingers because you thought you were safe. Cell phone tough guys is what I call them. They're real tough behind the cell phone. And it's more than likely the people that do this, they've never been into a real confrontation. You've never been in a real fight before. You've never been hit. I've been hit. I have been hit for running my mouth. I've been slapped for running my mouth. I've been cussed out for running my mouth, and not just by my parents. I have been on the receiving end of a punch, smack, whatever. I've paid the price for running my mouth. I know what it's like. So I'm telling you, if you've never experienced it, you don't want to. A, it's not pleasant. B, it's an embarrassing feeling. It's a very embarrassing feeling when somebody gets in your face over something that you said, because you thought you got away with it. You thought you was tough. Everybody thinks that they're Billy Badass until they meet Billy Badass. And then it's like, oh, maybe I'm not as big as I thought I was. This isn't a trash talking section. I'm not talking trash about you. I'm just saying, be mindful. Be mindful of the things that you say. Be mindful of the things that you do. And let's say even if you don't cause the person that you comment on, even if they don't want to do anything to you, who knows? You can mess with that person's self-esteem so bad that they're going to look at these comments and they're going to take it to heart. What's the phrase for that? Cyberbullying. How many instances have we read about where young kids have lost their lives at the hands of themselves because of things that they've heard, things that somebody said to them. And all of a sudden, boom, you got to read about it in the news. You got to hear about it on a Facebook post. So-and-so just, I can't say the word, but you already know. Their life's terminated at their own hands because of something that you or somebody else said. You can bully somebody, and the cyberbullying is at an all-time high. And it has a different meaning. It has a different word. It's not cyberbullying. I still consider it cyberbullying, but now what do they call it? Social justice warriors, the commenters, people that, oh, well, I'm opinionated, and if they can't handle my opinion, that's on them. Nobody asked you to say that. You didn't have to say that. You ever hear somebody tell you something like, when you hear that, you know what you said was wrong. Well, somebody tells you like, yo, man, you ain't have to say that. You really did not have to say that. And they, not in a joking manner, but to the point where it's like, yo, you know you was wrong for that shit. You fucked up. You shouldn't have said that. That's how you know you messed up. And your mess up can cause a very fatal outcome. Words go a long way. Words go a very long way. Y'all just don't know. I'm telling you, you just do not know. So please, like I said, I know I sound like a broken record. Be mindful. Just be mindful of the shit that you say about people, man. You don't know these people personally. So why are you talking about them like you do? You know what I mean? So what if a girl is promoting her OnlyFans on her Instagram, or she's posting a picture, which we all know, like she's objectifying herself? Yes, we get it. We all know that. Come on, man. The blind Stevie Wonder can see that these chicks are doing that. It's at an all-time high, man. They're all doing that. Everybody doing it. Most girls that you know, 9 times out of 10, they got OnlyFans. They have a page. They're influencers. You know that. You know the best way, if this is something that you don't like, because I know there's a lot of people that are against influencers. I get it. I don't support the whole OnlyFans thing. I don't. I really don't. You'll never see me subscribe to a page ever. I'm just not that person. Like, I'm not gonna pay $10 a month for something that I can see for free. Sorry, I'm just not. But another thing I'm not gonna do is flood these girls' comment sections with my opinions about how I feel about them. First of all, I'm not their parents, so I'm not going to go out of my way to try to judge them. Second off, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm just not. And I'm just not going to do that. You know what I mean? I'm just going to, I'll look at the post. Hey, if it's something I don't like, I'll swipe up. It's like Tinder. It's like a dating app, man. If you see something, you're, oh, cool. Swipe right. You don't like it, swipe left. You don't like it, you like it, swipe right. You don't like it, swipe left. That's it. Keep it moving. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter are full of posts that you are either going to like or you're not going to like. It's a lot like buying a newspaper. You're going to read some articles that you like, and then you're going to see some articles that, oh, that's stupid. I'm going to skim past that. Or you want to see something funny. You're going to skip to the Sunday funnies. You're going to skip to the funny papers. Oh, so look at that. Or you're looking for something informational. You're going to go to the classifieds, the one ass. Social media is just like that. It's like a newspaper in the palm of your hand. That's all it is. You see something you like, cool, check it out. You see something you don't like, keep it moving. I don't think people realize how much time that they're wasting of their own. Oh, snap, I don't like that. I got to comment on it. I got to comment on that. I got to comment because I have to. Now people got to know my opinion. Don't everybody need to know your opinion? And I'm going to tell you right now, and this counts for me too. This counts for every single one of us. You need to hear this. Majority of people don't care about your opinion. Okay? Majority of people don't care about my opinion. All right? They don't. If you have an opinion, unless they are your friends, your family, any loved ones, they're probably not going to care about your opinion, especially if they don't know you. And why should you care about the opinion of a total stranger? Think about that. This person that you're commenting on, do you think they're going to care about anything that you have to say about them? Especially if they're confident. If they're confident, they're not going to care. They're going to look at it. Oh, okay, another hater. Keep it pushing. They're either going to just leave your comment there, or if you're me, because this is what I do, they're going to delete it. I've deleted a few comments on mine. It's like, I'm not going to sit here and argue with this. I don't know them. I don't know this person. You know what I mean? So why am I wasting my time? I did it once. Like I said before in another video, I did it once on TikTok. I decided to snap back. And you know what happened when I snapped back? I got a violation. I got in trouble for defending myself. So that's when I decided, you know what? I'm not doing this no more. I'm good. They got something to say. Let them say it. Talk all the shit about me you want, because your comments are either going to get ignored, or if I really am in a mood to laugh, I'm just going to leave it there and let other people talk shit about you. That's another thing I've seen before. People try to comment something and their comment backfires and they get roasted royally. Now you really look stupid. And that should be a lesson. You probably shouldn't have said nothing to begin with. Simple as that. You probably shouldn't have said a damn thing to begin with. So, say it before, I'll say it again. Be mindful. Just be mindful of the things you say to people. Be mindful of the things you say about people. And be mindful of the things that you do. Because you got to ask yourself, do you want that to happen to you? Whatever you do to somebody, you got to ask yourself, do you want that to happen to you? Treat others the way you want to be treated. Ain't that the age-old addict? Isn't that what your parents taught you? What your teachers taught you? Any adult figure in your life probably taught you that. You probably heard that from them. You heard your grandmama say, you wouldn't want nobody saying that about you, would you? You wouldn't want nobody saying that about your kids. So why are you saying that about their kids? That's life, man. Treat others the way you want to be treated. That's all I'm saying. And that's all you got to do. Okay, so for those wondering why I keep checking my mic, there was some weird stuff, and it's gonna go back on the topic of comments. For those that know, I'm working on a new short film. Myself, my brothers Matt Jefferson and David Johnson. We're working on a film called Channel X. It's an experimental horror film about haunted YouTube channel. So really looking forward to y'all checking that out. I have been getting some strange comments on my short skits and on my posts. And if you go look at some of my videos, you'll see who I'm talking about. Like, there's a user on there called This Is Where. Normally I don't give out info, but it's been on like the past couple shorts that I've been posting. And it's always something. It's never anything like threatening, but it's just odd. It's just they always pop up. And they always pop up with some shit. Like the one post, they said something like, oh, what did they say? Oh, you're ready to be tuned in. We're waiting for you. One of them said, we're watching you. And I'm like, it's weird. Like, just these weird, random, out of nowhere comments. And it's always from the same person. It's the same person. I don't know who they are. But you want to know something crazy? I don't know who the person is personally. But here's a weird thing. My movie's called Channel X. Their YouTube channel is called Channel X. Now, I'm going out of my way exposing this, but yo, weird coincidence. And there's other YouTube channels. There's other things at Channel X. I mean, for those that know Grand Theft Auto had a Channel X. I'm pretty, what was it on? It was San Andreas or Vice City, one of them. I think Vice City had the Channel X, and it was like the public radio thing. You know what I mean? Rob Zombie song What Lurks on Channel X. So like a lot of people use Channel X, but I just found that weird that person commenting about my stuff on Channel X, their page is called Channel X. Odd coincidence. Like it's freaky. Like, do some real stuff. And it didn't get freaky until my last video where I was talking about the Matrix and my audio went out halfway through. Now, here's the weird thing. I look back on it. The audio went out as soon as I was about to start talking about Channel X. Dog, like, I ain't no super conspiracy theorist, but that was weird. That was some weird shit. Oh my God. Like I still kind of get goosebumps thinking about that, because usually, and this is the second time this has happened when I've gone to make like a short horror film, because the bathroom was the first to do this, because there was a point where I was filming my scenes from the bathroom and my hallway light flickered. Like it would flicker. It would flicker every night at the same time, 7 p.m. That hallway light would it would flicker on and off like it was a bulb about to go out, and it would always happen at the same time, 7 p.m. Weird. Like I know it's probably nothing that big to look into, but it's just odd stuff like that, man. It's like horror in real life, like art imitating life or life imitating art, whatever you want to call it. It's just strange. So that's why I'm constantly checking. I'm checking shit because I don't want nothing else weird to be happening. Like it's nothing that's life threatening. I haven't gotten any threats or any weird emails or nothing like that, or stuff delivered to my home. Like, don't nobody, unless you're a friend, like unless you know me personally, you know where I live. Most people y'all don't know where I live. So, but yeah, I had to come and talk about that because that was it's weird. They haven't commented anything lately, so I feel that it's that we safe. You know what I'm saying? But man, that's it is weird. Like you're like, why is he smiling? That should be scary. Like I don't know why, but when stuff that usually happens in movies starts happening in real life, I don't know why I get overly excited about it. Like if a zombie apocalypse happened right now, I would probably get excited for like a split second until I realize, oh, this is gonna spread and we're screwed. And then it's like, oh man, well, okay, time to stop laughing and start surviving because I ain't got nothing up in here to really defend myself with. But but yeah, like I said, I had to come and talk about that. But I'm also going to talk about the film itself. The film itself is coming along really well. We're still in production. Matt and David, they've shot all of their stuff. Basically, this is just the videos within videos. Like I said, the premise is a guy watching a YouTube channel that is full of subliminal videos, and he starts realizing that this channel almost has a life of its own. You know what I mean? It's very supernatural like. But there's skits within. David and Matt have shot their skits. So it's just basically, I have to shoot my part. I have to do my skits and compiling everything together and editing and all that and a whole bunch of unfun shit for those that have ever edited. Even editing YouTube videos, it's tough. Editing is fun and it's not at the same time. The best way I can put it, finishing a project, it's a satisfying headache because it's a headache when you're doing it. The payoff is amazing. The bathroom, it was tough. That was a tough one because this was the first full, like more than 6-minute video that I had shot, and I edited and compiled everything. And I'm so glad it came out the way it did. It just won the award for best horror film short at the New Jersey Film Awards. So shout out to the New Jersey Film Awards for giving me my second award. I won the last one I won was best micro short for Where Am I? So yeah, 2024 so far, outside of weird freaky comments and all that, has actually been a good year. So I'm really happy about that. And like I said, I'm excited to see what everyone thinks about Channel X. This is a very, very experimental. This could either come out as something really cool, or it's one of those, you probably shouldn't do that again. Like, hey, that's the whole thing about experimental films. It's either a hit or a miss. Probably one of the best examples is I watched a movie on Shudder called Skinamarink. I think I pronounced it right. Skinamarink, kind of like the song. But for those that have watched it, I've seen reviews on it. People have either loved it or they never want to watch it again. I was unfortunately on the end where I don't want to watch this movie again. I might have stopped maybe 45 minutes in because I was just so I didn't understand what was going on. That's the purpose of an experimental film. An experimental piece is one of those where it's allowed to be disliked by people. And that's any movie. Any movie is allowed to be disliked by people. But experimental films get a pass because the creator is trying something new. It's like a new form of music or a new form of art. You're trying something new. You're throwing something on, you're throwing stuff on the wall and seeing what sticks. And it can go one of two ways, either good or bad. So Channel X, I'm hoping goes good. And I hope people really catch on and they start they like it. I hope that this is also another project that, take some awards, get some notoriety. Because that's the whole goal of filmmakers. We're just exposure, trying to get, this is our legacy. These are our babies. Those that don't have kids, I don't have kids, but I consider my films my babies because this is my legacy. It's going to continue on even when I'm not here anymore. My projects are going to be here and they're going to get shared by people of a newer generation, hopefully, So yeah, I hope that's how it goes. Somebody, like I always said, it doesn't matter how many people watch your projects. Somebody watched your stuff. Somebody watched it. That matters. It doesn't matter who it is. You made something that people saw. So whether it gets 10 views, 10,000 views, 100 views, somebody watched it. That's a win on its own. You made something that is proven to be worth watching. So any small victory is a victory in its own. Yep, we stole. I'm going to be checking that. I'm sorry, man. I'm going to be checking that through and throughout. But yeah, probably not going to be on here like super, super long because I really want to head to the movies. For those that have been keeping up with films, A24 Studios just released a film called Civil War. And I'm really, really tempted. I really want to see this movie. I really want to see this movie. There have been a few films that have come out lately that I've actually been excited about. The First Omen, I heard The First Omen did a really good job about, with critics and with fans. Very unexpected film. Like this movie got advertised, I think maybe 3 weeks before it even came out. Like it did not really get any big advertisements, but it's been an unexpected hit. I'm like, oh, cool. So it's another Sound of Freedom. Because Sound of Freedom was the same way. Barely any trailers, but when this film came out, it banked at the box office. For those who have not seen Sound of Freedom, it's out on Blu-ray. And I think it's on the Angel Studios app. If you haven't seen that movie, go see that. That is probably, like I said, my top two favorite films of 2023 were Godzilla -1 and Sound of Freedom. Those are the two best films that came out last year. But Civil War looks really, really good. It's one of those like dystopian modern world, America split into two. Like just, I love plot. I love films like that. I really do. I love films where they get real and they get into the possibility of, Americans turning on Americans in a civil, just violent way. Like these are things that can happen. History has proven that this is stuff that can happen. Hopefully it doesn't, but at least it's cool to see in the movies. So yeah. What was another? Another one was Immaculate. I read some really good reviews on Immaculate. This, from the previews that I've seen, this looks good, bro. This looks like a good fucking movie, man. I mean, from a horror fanatic, this shit looks good. And I've heard nothing but good things about it. I don't think I've heard a single bad thing about this movie, which is rare, hearing about it because it's a Sydney Sweeney film, which is another reason why I'm going to see it. I mean, like, bro, come on, man. Bro, it's Sydney Sweeney. You gonna go see it. Like, she's one of the main reasons why Euphoria is one of my favorite shows. If you ain't never watched Euphoria, I'm telling you, you missing out. You missing out. Bruh, baddest one on the shows. Cassie, oh, that's my girl. That's my next ex-wife. That's, whew. Damn, that's a bad bro. Anyway, yeah, Immaculate. Definitely want to see that one. There was another one that came out. Godzilla X Kong. I did go see that. That was good. That was a good one. Your standard kaiju monster movie. And I heard a lot of weird comments about how the story didn't make any sense. And I think that's really the only complaint that I've heard about that film. And in the film's defense, bro, it's a monster movie. You go back and watch them older Godzilla movies, and you can explain to me what the plot is about, other than why this monster is here to destroy that monster. Why Destroyer is here? Why is he here? He's here to destroy Godzilla. This is it. It's one monster that don't like the other, so they're gonna fight. That's the purpose of a monster movie. That is a monster movie in a nutshell. If you want to write a kaiju movie, that's all you need. Just sit. You don't even need that many people at the drawing board. Like, hey man, what's this movie gonna be about? It's easy, Nick. It's one monster that don't like this monster, so they're gonna fight. They're gonna destroy shit. Humans are gonna be casualties. The end. That's all you need. Cool. Write it down. Write down some, all right, let's throw some humans in there that we don't care about. Yep, there we go. Cool. This kid has powers, don't know how. Who cares? Godzilla's about to blow shit up. We don't care. It's entertaining. This movie did Godzilla and Kong understood the assignment. It entertained. I was very entertained by this movie. I don't care about no storylines or no monster movie, man. It's like, come on, man. Like even King Kong, not to me, doesn't care about the storyline. You get to see a giant ape fighting dinosaurs and swatting helicopters. That shit is fun. I could only imagine what that was like in 1933 when it first came out. That was revolutionary. Like some films, you don't need super plots. You don't need the big storylines. You just need to entertain your audience. I always say that in my videos. If you entertain your audience, you good. You are good. That's all you need. Oh, that's good water. Feels good. We still good. That's what I'm talking about. So, as far as movies go, yeah, those are the ones that I'm excited about. A24 has been killing it. I've said it time and time again. They're always going to be putting out bangers. Hey, shit. Ty West fans, we got our first trailer for Maxine. Cannot wait. I'm so excited. I can't hide that shit. So excited for this movie, man. I loved X. I love Pearl. Pearl so far is the best one in the series. I'm hoping your Maxine tops that. Like, is it dog? Ty West and Mia Goth, man. This is the future right here. This kid can go. Gosh, she is a good actress. Like, just watch movies with Mia Goth movies to watch to really appreciate her acting. The top two right here is Pearl and a film by David Cronenberg's son Brandon Cronenberg called Infinity Pool. It stars her and Alexander Skarsgård. Dog, from an actor's standpoint, it's a weird film. Well, which is understandable because it's a Cronenberg film. With Cronenberg, you don't know what you're going to get, but the one thing you will get in Cronenberg movies is good performances. And his son is no exception to that rule because the performances in this movie are dynamite. And Mia stands out as the best, as usual. I feel like anything this girl is in, she's going to be a scene stealer. She is a scene stealer, man. So look out for her in future award ceremonies because this girl might take an award for something that's very unexpected. Because I really thought they were going to give her something for Pearl, which they should have, but she knocked it out the park with that. But Maxine, yes, cannot wait for that. Cannot wait for that. Yeah, A24, man, they can do no wrong in my eyes, man. So whatever they coming out with, trust me, my ass is gonna be in that seat to see it. Another thing I was thinking about, and I was talking to a friend about it, is I kind of want to get back into gaming. Yeah, I'd really want to get back into that. You know, the PS5 is starting to get affordable now. So, because, hey, I'm like this. Some of these prices on these game systems are ridiculous. I mean, I understand why they're at that high. Like, I understood why the PS4, when it first came out, I think was it 500? I think it was 500 because when I got it, it was 400. It was a little over 400, and the only reason that I got it was because it was tax season, and I got a fair, decent amount of money back. But then again, when I got it, I was still living at home, so I really wasn't paying that much. So, but I might try to get back into gaming and maybe streaming. I don't know. If you see this, post comments, let me know if that sounds like a good idea. I'm really not used to like gaming and talking shit. I mean, because when I game, I try to just to stay focused, especially when I'm trying to beat it. And I don't know. I guess I just kind of grew out of it as I got older. Like, I'm not gonna say like I hate video games. I don't. I love them. It's just nothing has really been coming out that's had me excited to really like, oh, I want to buy this. There's a few. Path, I think it's called Path of the Ronin. Path of the Ronin, I saw some gameplay on. That looks good. Phantom Blade looks good. That looks like a pretty good game. I've seen some gameplay on Spider-Man 2. I've heard mixed things about it from a story standpoint, but the gameplay looks amazing. Yeah, that looks really amazing. They've remastered both Last of Us games for the PS5, and I've seen some gameplay for that. Like that, the graphics for these next gen consoles, they really do look good, especially in 4K. 4K in gaming, that shit is like peanut butter and jelly. It goes so well together. You know what I'm saying? So that I would like to one day, one day I am going to get it. I'm going to buckle down and get a PS5. I'm going to eventually do that. I'm not sure when, who knows? It might be sooner than you think. We'll see how my funds are, because, $430 is still a lot, but who knows? It may happen. One of the reasons I'm talking about gaming is a little while ago, I've had plenty of discussions like this with friends on what's the best video game, what is the greatest video game, and it's hard to pick what's the greatest video game ever made. And I think it's easier to talk about video game franchises than video games as just one game, because anybody can easily say, "Oh yeah, sure, Last of Us is the greatest video game ever." Well, yeah, that's an opinion, but you have people that don't like The Last of Us. Like, I like it and I don't like it. I love The Last of Us 1. I've seen gameplay for The Last of Us 2, and I know the storyline for The Last of Us 2, and that's the one thing that really stopped me from buying it. You know what I mean? Like, throw all the woke shit out the way. It's just, I know what happens. The things that happen in the game, I expected them to happen. It's just how they happen in the game. Once I see it, it's like, okay, I don't want to play up to this point because I'm probably going to turn it off and be mad, which I know I'm going to be mad. I don't want to hear. Oh, cool. But I want to talk about my personal favorites. And by personal favorites, I mean my personal favorite gaming franchises of all time. 5 video game franchises that I feel are the best ones. And I got a list, because I got a list of ones like, it's hard to make just 5, because there are a few that I really, really enjoy. Number 5, because I'm going to go from 5 to 1, which is my number 1. Number 5 for me is God of War. God of War is one of those games, and I'm a big fan of franchises that know how to evolve. God of War knows how to evolve. They have evolved on every platform that they've been on. I remember playing the first God of War, and this is back in the days where you was renting video games from Giant Eagle, Hollywood Video. Like I used to rent my games from Giant Eagle, which was up the street from where I lived. They had Giant Eagle, then they had Eagle Video, which is way in the back. It was connected. Me and my mom, we would always go. She would rent her movies, and I would rent my game. I remember renting God of War, I don't know how many times, because usually I would have a thing. I would rent a video game, and if I liked it, I'd try to beat it. If I didn't like it, then I'd probably never rent it again. So this was one of those where like I rented it, and I got halfway through in the 5 days, because back then you had 5 days to play a game or rent a movie before it went back. Unless it was new. If it was new, those that know, the all old school know what I'm talking about. If it's a new game or a new movie, you had 2 days. You had 2 or 3 days. Older ones that have been out for a while, 5 days. So I have 5 days to try to beat this game. 5 days, I got halfway through. We went back. I re-rented that shit again, took it back home, ended up beating that game. I was waiting, foaming at the mouth. God of War 2 came out. It was the same thing. Oh, man, this game is fire. This shit is good. And I just, oh, my God. Like, I logged hours into this game, bro. Hours into this game. God of War 3, same way. Same way. And, dude, for those that know about soundtracks, God of War 3, and I'm very big on soundtracks. God of War 3 had one of the best soundtracks ever. It was called Blood and Metal. True God of War fans know what I'm talking about. This soundtrack was packed with, dude, this soundtrack introduced me to one of my all-time favorite bands, which is Trivium. I am a huge Trivium fan. And the first song of theirs that I ever heard was Shattering the Skies Above off of Blood and Metal. Dude, that was one of the coldest songs that I ever heard. I listened to that while I played that game. Y'all, like, oh my God, going down memory lane with these games, bro. Oh my God, these games were so fire. So fire, man. Oh, God of War was so fucking good. And then it was like, okay, where are they going to go from here? Because they had the PSP expansions. The PSP expansions, I never got to play. I got to play a little bit of Ascension. I didn't get to play Chains of Olympus, but I knew about them. You know what I mean? Like there were continuing stories like that took place in between the first 3 games, which I thought was cool. You know what I mean? There were prequels and sequels at the same time. But when they came out with God of War 4, listen. Taking a Greek god and putting him in Norse mythology. Man, when I played this game, because at the time, Thor was one of my favorite MCU characters. I loved how they added with the Norse mythology and all that. But when I played God of War 4, that put every MCU version of Asgard, they put it all to shame. All to shame. Because I'm like, yo, this feels like the more accurate depiction of gods. And that was the one thing that was always good about God of War. I was always big into Greek mythology. That's another reason why that series was such a favorite of mine, is I love Greek mythology. Growing up, one of my favorite movies of all time was Clash of the Titans. One of my all-time favorites. We used to watch that every holiday. It will come on Turner Classic. Clash of the Titans, Jason and the Argonauts. Then you had, you know, Hercules' Legendary Journeys. Like, bro, I was big into that. But that's what got me into a fascination with different gods and different religions. You know, next to, you know, the religion course I took in college, which also dug deeper into that. So Norse mythology was on my list too of things that I really wanted to study. And God of War, playing God of War 4 really made me go and look up a lot of information on these characters. Like, I didn't know about the world serpent. I didn't know about the relationships between the gods and the dwarves. Like, a lot of this shit I didn't know about. So these games were good, but they were educational at the same time. You know, God of War Ragnarok came out, crushed it. That's what I mean. Like, every game in this series, there's not a bad game in the God of War series. I don't think there's one bad game in this series. So, yeah, that's definitely my number 5. Number 4, Super Mario Brothers. We'll keep it simple. Super Mario Brothers, man. I think that's a staple. That's on everybody's list of favorite games because for a lot of us, man, Super Mario Brothers was the first game that you've ever played. It was the first one I ever played. First game I ever played was Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. Remember when they came together? It was like a 2-pack with original Nintendo. I remember playing it at my cousin's house, man. Like we both used to stay with my aunt, man. He used to live, he was staying in the basement and he had Super Mario Brothers, Legend of Zelda, and the other one. I want to say it was one of the Final Fantasies. He had 3. This was before he got Sega. It was Nintendo. So we would go down there and we would play Super Mario. We would log in hours playing Super Mario. This was back before you had to save. You couldn't save shit. We had memory cards. So you had to play as far as you can get before, hey, it's either time to eat or time to go to work. And you had to cut that shit off. But Super Mario Brothers is another game that evolved. Man, Mario evolved so well. Like Mario aged like fine wine, bro. Everything that Mario touches. I mean, even the freaking the Wii series. Remember Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games? Like, remember when the Wii was first breaking out? That was one of the funnest games I played on the Wii. Well, one of my favorite entries in the series was Mario 64. I remember when that came out. Oh man, this game. First of all, we got Mario in 3D. So come on. That game, that changed the game. And then they started doing, Mario Kart. Like that's the thing about this series is Mario was one of those games where you can play with your friends as like a family. You can play it as a family. You can play it at birthday parties. I played it at birthday parties, family gatherings. Who hasn't gotten bored at your boy's house and like, hey man, we got all these people here who want to play Mario Kart. 20 people raised their hands. You got a bunch of people standing around cheering like, come on. Mario Kart, Mario Galaxy, Mario Party, Super Smash Brothers, which I consider a Mario game. To an extent, I consider it. I do. I really consider it that. I mean, come on. Who remembers? Like, I remember the trailers for every one of these games. And one of the best trailers that I ever saw was the trailer for the first Super Smash Brothers. You remember when they was all walking together in the park? I think it was Donkey Kong. I want to say it was Mario. Oh, who else was it? There was a bunch of different characters. They were all walking together, and all of a sudden one pushed the other, and they started scrapping, and they started brawling, and we were like, yo, what is this? Dude, it's an arena fighting game with Nintendo characters? Dude, sign me the fuck up. Hell yeah, sign me up. Yeah, that shit was good. Like I don't know what it is about like old school games that still hit so different nowadays. They hit better than a lot of the newer games. They really do. Like I could still go back to PS2 and play shit like Spyro and Devil May Cry and Siphon Filter 3, and I could still just like have that nostalgic feeling. Time Splitters, you know what I mean? You could still get your boys together and play games like Time Splitters, Perfect Dark, GoldenEye, Turok the Dinosaur Hunter, and still have that, nostalgic feeling like, hey man, I don't even want to play this new game no more, man. Like at least not for a while. I'm kind of in an old school mood. Mario gives you that feeling. You play a newer Mario game, you're probably going to be tempted to go back and play one of the older ones. Like I played Mario Party, playing Mario Party and Mario Kart for GameCube. It made me want to go back and bust out Super Mario Brothers 3, which is probably my favorite in the series. Well, like I said, it's hard. That's a hard one because my mind might change. But Mario has aged so well, and just like Sonic, he's done well in movies. I personally love the Mario Brothers movie. I know Chris Pratt got a lot of heat before it came out, and then it came out, and you're like, all right, come on, man, it ain't that bad. It's really not. You know what I mean? Like, I really thought it was an enjoyable movie. But Mario, yes, definitely my number 4. That's my number 4 on my list. Number 3, Resident Evil. And it was the top 2 and 3 are toss-ups because I almost put this in number 2. But there's a reason I'm gonna put this in number 3. And I'm gonna explain it once I get to number 2. Actually, I might explain it in a little bit. But Resident Evil, and once again, these are games that have been part of my childhood, and that once again they have aged. Resident Evil has aged good and bad. There are good Resident Evil entries, and there are bad Resident Evil entries. Like, none of them can be Resident Evil 2. But we had a lot of sequels that were forgettable. That they were so forgettable that it's like you looked at the movies and was like, man, maybe the Paul Anderson movies wasn't that bad. First Resident Evil game I ever played was Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 was the first one that I ever played. And it was mainly when I was at a buddy's house and him and his dad were playing the first Resident Evil. And it was right before the second one was about to drop. And I remember watching it and I'm like, yo, what are you guys playing? Are you shooting zombies? Because at that point, I was a zombie fanatic. Anything that dealt with the living dead, I was there. You know, at the time, I watched Night of the Living Dead. I watched both versions. I've seen every Romero zombie film. I've seen all the Return of the Living Dead series. Like, zombies have always been a staple. They've been a big part of my childhood. Like, all this shit I was watching, I was too young to watch, but I watched it anyway. It scared me, and I went back and watched it again. Resident Evil, another example. Like, I watched them play that game, and I'm like, man, I want that. And like, not even a week after that, the trailer for Resident Evil 2 dropped. It was the one that George Romero did for the Japanese game. Romero did a commercial for it, because originally Romero was supposed to do a Resident Evil movie, and he never got to. Pisses me off because I really wanted to see how that would have turned out. But I remember watching the trailer for Resident Evil 2, and I looked and I was like, Mom, that looks good. Like, that looks really good. And I was shocked. Like, she actually got the game. She's like, all right, you've been talking about this damn game. This is how Black parents get their kids gifts. If you don't know, Black parents are the only ones that will give their kids a Christmas or birthday gift with attitude. Like, all right, look, goddamn it, you've been talking all day about this goddamn game, about this damn Resident Evil zombie shit. You better play this. All right, here you go. Go on, all right, man, baby. Go on, hold on. What do you say? Thank you. All right, go ahead and enjoy. Man, 20 minutes into playing that game, I turned it off. And here's why. That game scared the shit out of me. I mean, this game scared me down to my draw. Bro, the minute I got in that police station, it was over. Because I was always with, I grew up playing, the arcades where you would shoot them up and all you had to do was, you would press down, you could reload just like that. This was one of those games where you had to preserve your ammo. Hence the phrase survival horror. I didn't know that at the time. So as soon as the game started, I was popping shots off, popping off shots. Hey, I got him. By the time I got to the police station, all I had was an empty gun and a knife. Them zombies whooped my ass. Whooped my ass in so many ways. I didn't beat that game until like 4 years after. Because fun fact, I played that game like little tidbits. Because I was so scared. That was a scary ass game, man. Some of y'all know, some of you don't know. And last time I turned that game off, I turned it off for about 4 years. 4 years later, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna conquer my fears. I was in big boy mode. Like, fuck that, man. I'm a grown ass man. Shit, man. I'm in high school now. I can beat this. Turned that game back on. Beat it within 2 days. And when you finally beat a video game, man, you feel like a man, even when you're not. Like, you start pumping your chest and shit. Man, I beat that game And I looked at that screen. I threw my controller. I dropped the shit like it was a mic because I felt so good. Like hell yeah. Now what? Now what you gonna do? That shit out. Like I felt so fucking good, man. But that's the feeling that those games, to this day, those games give me that feeling of just fear, anxiety, adrenaline, goosebumps, but also I gotta see this through. I gotta see this through, man. You know, like this was back, like the entries in the series were still good. You know, you had Resident Evil 3. Resident Evil 3 was a good follow-up. I finally went back and played the first one, which I played. It was very much reversed. Like I played the first one after I'd played 4. I finally went back and was like, all right, let me check this shit out, and loved it. 4, loved it, absolutely loved it. One of my favorites in the series, and I know it's not a lot of people's favorites, was Resident Evil Survivor. Survivor was a good one. Yeah, that was when they first started doing the first person thing. Very easy game to beat. If you're looking for a challenge, don't get it. It's fun, but it's easy to beat. Resident Evil 5 is where I started noticing, like, okay, they're going with the Resident Evil movies because this shit's very Matrixy. Like some of these fight scenes, they turned Wesker into Agent Smith. This dude dodging bullets and left and I'm like, bro, what is going on up in here? They done turned this nigga into Alice. Like, I didn't know if I was watching that or watching the Mila Jovovich films. I mean, it was good, but it didn't have that scare factor. And Resident Evil 6 came out, and it was like, all right, man, now y'all definitely trying to be like the movies. 7 is where they got my attention again. Resident Evil 7 was scary as hell. That one was good. Oh man, bro. Like I said, I played that. I played the spin-offs. Like I played almost every Resident Evil spin-off, with the exception of Dead Aim. I haven't played Dead Aim, and I haven't played any of the Umbrella Dark Side Chronicles. Yeah, that one I didn't play. Still haven't played Village. I want to play Village. Village looks really good. I've heard nothing but good things about Village. It looks scary as shit. I mean, I've seen the part with the baby, with the damn crawling fetus. I don't know if I'm ready for that, man. Because even watching that gameplay scared the hell out of me. So I don't know if I'm ready for that. The remakes have been great. Those remakes have been great. Even the remake to 3. I know the remake to 3 got a lot of heat. And understandable, it did. I get why, because it was so short. It was such a short game. Yeah, it's a really, really short game. Like to me, it was easy. But then again, the original Resident Evil 3 was like that too. They just took a lot out with this remake. But Resident Evil 4, I still got to play. The remake to 4, because that looks phenomenal. I was really surprised that did not take Game of the Year. But then again, I'm really sure the Resident Evil 4 remake came out the same year as Elden Rings. I'm not sure. I think it came out around that same time. So you had Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Resident Evil 4. It's like, come on. And anytime From Software comes out with a game, you know that it's winning. Come on, from freaking Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro, Armored Core, which they got a new one coming out. Like that's what I mean. I don't game very hard, but I try to keep up on the new ones that are coming out just in case something gets my attention. So yeah, From Software, they're winning almost every year, which I'm surprised that, Baldur's Gate actually took Game of the Year. But then again, that's another franchise that, hardcore gamers know about Baldur's Gate. But I digress. Excuse me. Yeah. Resident Evil 4, yeah, still got to play that remake. Like I said, the reviews for it have been great. The gameplay looks amazing. And I feel like with their remakes, they're correcting a lot of mistakes and a lot of things that they left out in the original games. But Resident Evil has always been a big part of like my gaming life. And this is one of those series where like anytime there's a new one, my attention is there. Like I'm going to, if I don't get to play it, I'm at least going to watch gameplay on it. So that's my number 3. And the reason that it's not number 2 is because of how many misses that it's had. Resident Evil really didn't do good with remaining like consistent. They always tried new shit. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. The first person thing definitely worked. Turning Resident Evil into a Matrix style action game does not work. It just doesn't. And I feel like a lot of fans would agree with me when I say it just doesn't work, because now it's not a survival horror game. It's just action horror. And now you're more adrenaline. You're not scared anymore. Why would I be scared of a zombie when I can flip in the air like Neo and kick 6 of them and keep it moving? Like, why would I be afraid of a zombie if my character has superpowers? Whereas if my character is a rookie cop, this is his first day on the job, and the first day on the job, he has to fight a police station full of dead creatures. Hell yeah, I'm gonna be scared. You'd be scared too if that was your first day on the job. Hey man, welcome to the company. By the way, here's a gun with 6 bullets. Here's a knife that hasn't been sharpened. Oh, your vest's dirty. Your shoes is untied, and there's 20,000 zombies crawling in the station. You got about 6 hours to get the fuck out of here, or you finna die. Like, hell yeah, I'm gonna be scared. Like, yo, man, I don't think this job is cut out for me. I'm sorry, man. I think I'm going back to inventory because I don't want to do this shit no more. But, hey, like, that's fear. Like, are you playing as a regular person that ain't got no powers or no gun? Hell yeah, that's scary. But consistency. They lost me a lot of points. They gained me back, but they lost me a lot of points. So that's why Resident Evil is number 3. So number 2, before we get to bread and butter, number 2, Metal Gear. Metal Gear Solid, whatever you want to call it. This is my dog. When I say that between this and one, once again, when it the top 3, these are my top 3. So this is very hard to decide who's going to be at the top of the list. Metal Gear Solid was one of the first PlayStation games that I ever truly fell in love with. And this was before I knew about Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 for the Nintendo and Super Nintendo. I didn't know a lot about this series. All I knew is people were talking about like, yo, you got to play this game as tactical espionage. The story is just amazing. It feels like part Michael Bay film and part sci-fi. I'm like, oh shit, all right. And you sneak around. And Metal Gear Solid taught a lot of people how to game. It taught a lot of people how to be tactical with their gaming. It taught a lot of people about strategy gaming. And it doesn't get enough credit for that. Some people would say that Final Fantasy and Zelda was the first to really see it. True, but Metal Gear was the first to really educate you on, hey, just because you got this gun, you might run out of bullets. So the goal here, don't get caught. Complete the mission, don't get caught. Certain sounds live in your head. Certain sounds live in your head rent free. If this sound don't live in your head rent free, then if you do that to somebody and they jump, you know they're a Metal Gear fan. Because that's the worst, that's the one sound you didn't want to hear playing that game. And I heard that plenty of times. My first go around on that, dog, I was getting caught every 5 seconds. And the more you get caught, the worse it gets, because they're going to start looking for you. And every time they find you, that's your ass. Because they got more bullets than you, and they got more people than you. But once you get past that, and once you start getting deeper into that story, dude, the more I played that game, and this is another one that I kept renting. I'm like, I need to beat this game, because this is the first game where the story drew me in. Because every cutscene made you want more. Metal Gear Solid was the master This series was the master of cutscenes. Nobody does cutscenes like Hideo Kojima. I will say that right now. Hideo Kojima is my favorite gaming developer of all time. All time. This man knows how to keep you immersed. He knows how to keep you invested in this story, no matter how weird it is. And trust me, I played Death Stranding a few times, and I still don't fully get the why this is happening. But those cutscenes, though, man, oh my God, they're so nice to look at. And Metal Gear Solid was like that. They're so nice to look at, just from the scenery. And these were PlayStation 1 graphics. We talking like still kind of pixelated, but the shit was fire. Metal Gear Solid 2 came around, which I feel like I might be the only one that really loves this game. And I understand why a lot of people at the time didn't like it, because deception was a big part of this game. Like, a lot of folks went in thinking they were going to play Snake through the whole game, and we get this new character called Raiden, and nobody liked Raiden. I liked Raiden because I thought that, especially towards the end, when you get to Raiden's story and like how he came up as a child soldier, it's like, yo, he ain't as soft as we think he is. This dude, this boy went through hell. I like plots like that, man. And I love villains. Like, Metal Gear was full of just classic, memorable villains. Who remembers Psycho Mantis? Cyborg Ninja. Like, I'm talking about the original guys. Vulcan Raven, Sniper Wolf, Revolver Ocelot, Liquid Snake. Bruh, solid as Snake. Remember the dudes from Metal Gear 2? Remember Vamp? Vamp was one of the coldest ones. I'm like, dude, we got a vampire in this motherfucker? When that first cutscene happened, when you see him and he's drinking blood and he's dodging bullets, man, I must have replayed that level I don't know how many times just to see that cutscene. But, oh man, like, every entry in that series just offered something new and something good. Metal Gear 3 was like the unexpected prequel. Like, you realize at the end that you're playing as Big Boss, aka Naked Snake. Like, I could talk about this shit all day, but I'm not, because but still, yo, oh, the series was so good, dog. So good, man. And then the whole, when they revamped it with, you know, the Metal Gear Ground Zero and Metal Gear Phantom Pain. Phantom Pain was an open world Metal Gear game. Open world, and they did it so well. And whoever decided, hey, Kiefer Sutherland would make a great Big Boss, whoever made that choice, hats off to you. Hats off to you, man. I'm like, hold on, y'all got the dude from 24? And it worked so well. Oh my God, everything that this series did worked so well, until Konami messed up with Hideo Kojima and he ended up leaving. And I know there's a whole story behind that. I don't know the full story. I just know that Kojima started, he started his own gaming production company, which has done wonders, because Death Stranding 2 is coming out pretty soon, and that, that's going to be a banger. Everything that man, like, dude, he's one of those people that people just flock to. They want to work with him. And you understand why when you see his work. Of course you're going to want to work with this guy, man, because he knows good story. He knows good storytelling. And he knows how to entertain his gamers. Can't hate on somebody for that. Metal Gear is one of those series where you're going to remember. It's an experience. It's not just a game. That's the phrase I was looking for. It's not just a game. It's an experience. Because the first Metal Gear Solid was an experience. It felt like a movie. This is one of the first games I ever played that felt like I was watching a film with a joystick in my hand. Like, I'm not playing a game. I'm watching a Michael Bay movie right now. I'm watching an action movie right now. I'm so invested in this story. A lot of modern gaming developers took from that game, because I feel like if it wasn't for Metal Gear, we wouldn't have games like Lost Odyssey. We wouldn't have games like Last of Us, Gears of War, Devil May Cry. You had Final Fantasy VII. At the time, it was Final Fantasy VII and Metal Gear Solid. Those were the two games that were like, yo, they were telling stories to your ass while you were playing and trying to beat these levels. You was learning shit. You wasn't getting that at the time. Nowadays, every game is like their storytelling, but they owe a lot of that to Metal Gear and Final Fantasy. But mostly Metal Gear. I'm sorry. I'm going to go with mostly Metal Gear Solid. So, yeah, man. Number 2, definitely Metal Gear. Like, that's definitely, that has always been in my top 3 list. Ever since I first started really getting invested in the game. Because that's one of the games that really got me invested in the gaming stories. So, should I do honorable mentions? Sure. I have 2 honorable mentions. Final Fantasy and Devil May Cry. Those are my honorable mentions because I was going to throw those on the list too, but and Grand Theft Auto. Like, these are games that, once again, if there's a new entry coming out, I'm probably going to check it out. Like, Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming when the world ends. So hopefully we're all around to enjoy this game when it comes out because it looks amazing. Devil May Cry, hell yeah, definitely. That was one of the first PS2 games I ever got. Final Fantasy VII was actually the first PlayStation 1 game I ever got with my PlayStation. It was that and Street Fighter EX Plus Alpha. Like, I remember the list of games that I got. Like, that one, yeah, those two were fucking fire. But, yeah, those are honorable mentions. So, number 1, my number 1 favorite video game franchise of all time is Mortal Kombat. Yep. Sorry. You grew up, bro. Listen. I grew up in the hood. We had fighting games. We had Mario, Mortal Kombat, and Street Fighter. If you never ended a friendship for 2 days after playing Mortal Kombat, after losing a fight in Mortal Kombat, you can't call your friends your friends unless you've ended a friendship with them because of a fight that you lost. Look, this game was the monopoly of handheld video games, man. You could literally end relationships off of Mortal Kombat. Like, bro, this game was equivalent to Spades. Like, and it was like one of the first, like, really evolutionary fighting games. Because at the time, really all you had was Street Fighter, and I think did Double Dragon come before Mortal Kombat? I have to look that up. I want to say it did. Hold on. We got to research that real quick. Wait a minute. What came first? Let's see. I think it did. I'm pretty sure that it did. Oh, no, it didn't. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. I don't think it did. I think the first one came out in 94. I think so. Yeah. Once again, this is back during the days of arcade. Oh, never mind. 1987. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So Double Dragon did come out before Mortal Kombat because Mortal Kombat came out in 92. Yeah. All right. So cool. All right. I was right. But yeah, because I know Street Fighter was an 80s game. But Mortal Kombat, going back to that, Mortal Kombat was one of those games where it wasn't just a fighting game. This game was violent. We didn't have a lot of violent, bloody video games back then. Now, I'm not saying this is the only reason why I love it. We're going to get back into that. This is another series that has aged well. It has aged so well. And shout out to Ed Boon. Ed Boon is another one who has given us so many great games, not just Mortal Kombat. We talking about Mortal Kombat versus DC, Injustice. Like, dude, the Injustice games, I'm still waiting on another one of those. But Mortal Kombat, I will never forget. Because Mortal Kombat 1 was revolutionary. Now, Mortal Kombat 2, Fun and Games, Warren, Ohio, 1990, let's see, 94, or maybe 93. I know I was still in grade school. This is during the days of arcades, because the arcades are starting to make a comeback because they just reopened the Fun and Games in Boardman, Ohio. Boardman has a Fun and Games. There's a pinball arcade in Girard, Ohio. Oh, fuck, what is it called? I haven't been there yet, but I've heard nothing but good things. Yeah, arcades are really starting to make a comeback, and I'm really glad that they are, because there's so many kids that have missed out. Like a lot of 2000s babies, you know, kids who grew up in the 2000s, y'all missed out on some good ass years in gaming and movies. And I'm glad for nostalgia, because y'all are getting to be educated on this shit again. I will never forget, I had my fistful of quarters. Mortal Kombat 2, it just came out. Dog, there was a line. There was a buffet line of people waiting to play this game. There was a kid at the front who was washing people. And he had Scorpion, and he was washing people like, dude, this nigga was folding people left and right. And I was waiting because I'm like, I'm going to be the guy to end the street. I'm going to be the guy. I've been practicing with Mortal Kombat 1. This ain't going to be no different. I picked my favorite character. Now, most people that know me, my favorite character is Sub-Zero. That's my all-time favorite Mortal Kombat character. I got up to play this boy. This boy whooped my ass. I mean, he whooped my ass. I couldn't get past the spear. I couldn't get past his teleport. Nothing. Then the nigga set me on fire with a fatal. I was like, God damn, like, and all my confidence was just crushed. So I did the only thing I could do. Go back to the gym and practice. I started playing on the days when nobody was there, and I'm like, I'm gonna get better at this shit. I'm gonna get better at this. Hell yeah. And eventually I did. And I became, you know, I like to consider myself a top tier Mortal Kombat gamer. You know, I've done pretty good online, and by pretty good, I mean I've lasted more than 40 seconds. But because them online kids ain't no joke. Fuck that, man. I played Mortal Kombat X online, got my ass whooped, but I lasted pretty long. Now, you know, I made it to round 3 a few times, so I think I did pretty good. Well, Mortal Kombat, another reason why this game is so memorable and nostalgic, it's the first video game to spawn one of the greatest movies ever. One of the greatest theme songs ever. Dude, 1995, man. Summer of 95 was one of the best summers of my life. Mortal Kombat, the movie, dropped. And shout out to Paul Anderson for creating this masterpiece, man. We went opening day. It was one of the best experiences of my entire life. Dog, I had a blast. This shit was fun. Man, millennials, certain sounds. Remember when I said certain sounds live rent-free in your head? You can go out in the middle of a Walmart, walk inside, and just scream at the top of your lungs, Mortal Kombat! And like everybody will lose their mind. Folks will lose their mind because they know what you're talking about. Like, hey, yo, and we all start singing the song and shit. Dude. Greatest video game theme song, hands down. And once again, this game aged like fine wine. Even like the earlier like Midway games. Like remember when they first went 3D with Mortal Kombat 4? Which, like I said, I've owned everyone. I've played everyone. The only one I haven't played yet is the new one of MK1 because I don't have a PS5. And it's another reason why I'm going to get one eventually because I do want. This game looks amazing. MK1 looks fucking phenomenal. But yeah, when they went 3D, they killed it in 3D. I mean, they had their fall off. I think the only fall off that they had two. It was Mortal Kombat Deception and Mortal Kombat Armageddon. But you saw those coming because you saw the writings on the wall. They're like, okay, this shit with Midway and Acclaim, this isn't working. You know, Ed Boon decided, you know what? I gotta break ties. I'm gonna do my thing. Out of nowhere, Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe comes out. I really had low expectations for this game. Low expectations. Man, I played this first 10 minutes in. I'm like, yo, this shit is a lot better than I thought. It's not bloody, which is understandable because there's DC characters involved. So you're not going to have a bloody Superman and Batman. So I get it. But what did he do after that? He rebooted Mortal Kombat with Mortal Kombat 9, which was just called Mortal Kombat. The man made a reboot. It was one of the first reboots. And he involved time travel with Mortal Kombat, and it fucking worked. It worked, and it was great. Then we got Mortal Kombat X, which changed the game even more. Dude, I can go down the line, man, of how well this series, how many seasons it had? How many spinoffs? Like, let's count the bad Mortal Kombat games. Okay. We have, and I'm talking about just the original entries. I'm not talking about the spinoff. The spinoffs don't count. We're not talking about mythologies. We're not talking about special forces or Shaolin monks, Mortal Kombat Racing. Fuck that. We talking about the original sequel entries. So they only had 2 bad ones out of 12. 2 out of 12 ain't bad. Deception and Armageddon. That's not bad. It's really not. Out of 12 core games, come on. That's pretty damn good. When you compare it to games like Tekken and Street Fighter, which really fell off for a very long time, Street Fighter is finally starting to make a comeback with this new one. Because I've heard nothing but good things about that. And all I can say to that is about time. It's about damn time. Mortal Kombat only had 2, man. Because after that, and this was during like the Ed Boon Fallout years with Midway. That man created NetherRealm Studios, been killing it ever since. We got DC Universe. We got Injustice, Injustice 2. If you don't like the Injustice games, what do we got to talk about? Maybe I could throw that in as another honorable mention. It doesn't have enough. It only has 2 games, which I'm really waiting on some more. But, bro, NetherRealm Studios, that's where it's at, man. Like Ed Boon is another one of those like Hideo Kojima. They know how to stay relevant because they know what the people want. They listen to their fans. And that's the one thing I respect about a gaming developer is he or she, they listen to their people. Why do you think Neil Druckmann got so much shit? You don't listen to your fans, this is what happens. This is the type of shit that happens. When you do listen to your fans, you get successful franchises like Metal Gear Solid, God of War, Mortal Kombat, Super Mario Brothers. That's what happens. You listen to the people. Give the people what they want. And Ed Boon has been giving the people what they want since day one. This is the greatest fighting game franchise of all time. Greatest, I'll say it again. Mortal Kombat is the greatest fighting game franchise of all fucking time. Better than Street Fighter, better than Tekken, better than Virtua Fighter, better than Soul Calibur, better than Streets of Rage, better than Bloody War. I can go down the list. Better than Super Smash. It's top tier. They all tried to be like Mortal Kombat. And crazy, Street Fighter came out before that. Even they tried to do it. And they failed. Because those games, they don't know how to continue to understand the assignment. Well, you can understand the assignment, but you have to understand the assignment. They lost their understanding of the assignment, and that's what happens. Ed Boon never lost his understanding of the assignment, and that's what happened with him. He's a winner. Only roll with winners, man. That's who I learned from. Best video game franchise of all time is Mortal Kombat. Rest my case. You can fight me for it. I don't care. We can meet up. No, I'm just playing. Don't come after me. That I ain't trying to fight nobody. I'm just getting my opinion. I don't want no smoke. But yeah. Those have been the topics for episode 7 of Let's Talk. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up real quick because I got some things to do today. I still gotta work out. Still gotta hit the gym. Still want to go to the movies and check out Civil War. Might give a review. I might not. I might just, post about it. But yeah, post comments down below. Let me know what you thought of today's chat. Let me know what your favorite game franchise of all time is. And yeah, that has been another episode of Let's Talk. I'm your boy Eric from AFNB Pictures, and always remember, AFNB, always forward, never back. Peace.